And we know we are throwing around a whole lot of official terms tonight, so let's talk about the difference between the types of tsunami alerts from the National Weather Service.
So a warning means move to higher ground or inland immediately. That's the highest level of an alert. An advisory, which is what we are under here on the West Coast, means stay out of the water, away from beaches. And a watch means get prepared and stay tuned for more information and be ready to act if need be.
And so those alerts go out from the National Weather Service. The Oregon Department of Emergency Management leads communication to make sure they reach people right away.
Joining us now is Patience Winningham, the Deputy Director of Oregon's Department of Emergency Management, Patience, thanks so much for staying up late and joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
First, I want to ask you, walk us through what's happening there at OEM right now.
Sure. Well, thankfully, we are able to stand down somewhat at the state level, but we were earlier tracking the event with our partners from across Region 10, FEMA Region 10, to include Alaska, Washington, and Oregon emergency management partners to understand what could be the potential impacts and maintaining a real-world situational awareness to understand our posture across the state of Oregon to support our coastline.
And so you had said that you're standing down a bit right now. What are you looking at? What are you monitoring at this point in the evening?
Sure. So we received a briefing from the National Weather Service and the Tsunami Center about 6:30 this evening, and we quickly pivoted and briefed all of our state partners and our local county emergency managers, as well as some other federal partners, on what the potential impacts could look like. And we've been actively monitoring and receiving briefings on a half-hour basis until we understood what the potential threat was for the state of Oregon. We are looking to our California partners and our partners in Hawaii and ready to support if necessary. But our agency is really responsible for support and coordination and amplifying information to ensure a clear understanding of what the situation is and how it's unfolding and what the potential impacts to life, safety, and the environment could be.
So what do you want people to know right now who are either living on or visiting the Oregon coast?
It's always important to understand what the alerts are. You did a fine job in defining them this evening for our transient population that comes to Oregon to recreate on our coastline. Those that live on the coast are very familiar with tsunamis and the protective measures that they need to take, but sharing that information across the jurisdiction is really important to ensure everybody has a clear understanding of how to take protective action. You also understanding the seismic movement and tsunami risk, how high the wave could be, not flocking to the ocean to look for the wave, but moving away from the water to protect yourself, your family, and your friends is extremely important.
And whether it's in this situation that we're focusing on tonight or an emergency situation in the future, how can people living here or visiting here make sure that they get the alerts they need in situations that are emergent, that are emergencies?
You can register by going to oralert.com for alerts for your particular location. Here in the state of Oregon, alert and warning is at the local level, the responsibility of the local jurisdiction. Don't call 911 if it's not a life safety emergency. So know your trusted sources, such as your media partners, social media, your local government, local emergency management programs, to ensure you're getting information quickly so you can take protective measures for yourself.
When it comes to at this hour, are there specific areas in your agency that you are more focused on when it comes to Oregon that maybe is more at risk or really needs more attention right now, either because of the topography or the population?
Well, we look at those inundation maps specifically to tsunami hazard and risk. We review those maps and look for low-lying areas. Currently, the United States Coast Guard was briefing us earlier today, and we need to be focusing on our low-lying bay areas where we have marinas and ensuring that they are moving those resources and assets out of harm's way, mostly in the southern Oregon coast, and the northern California coast could see potential impacts from larger waves.
And so what happens now as we move forward through this evening? I know we're not expecting to get waves really hitting our coastline until a little bit later, maybe about 11:45, 11:55, closer to midnight. What will you and your team be working on between now and then?
Currently, we're receiving those briefings, as I said before, and we pivot and take that information to share with our state partners, both with law enforcement, fire, and our local county emergency managers. We have situation dashboards that we can share that information with pretty quickly to ensure a clear understanding of what the impacts are.
Again, that's Patience Winningham joining us, the Deputy Director of Oregon's Department of Emergency Management. Patience, thank you so much for that important information tonight. We appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you.